Hey everybody, I hope you're having a fabulous day today. I wanted to talk to you about how to set goals that are aligned with an empowering belief system. I am a big believer in the power of mindset and how it actually can impact your creativity in a way where if you are suffering from a pattern of writing blocks or you are finding that you habitually don't have time to write, or that somehow people are constantly interrupting you, then that needs to be examined from a place of understanding that you might be getting in your own way. I'm not talking about random occurrences that just kind of happen every once in a while. You hit a writing block, but then you're able to get out of it and get back to your project. Or, once in a while your family, interrupts you and they apologize and because they forgot and quickly scurry away and let you get back to your work. It's more about whether or not it's a pattern or a habit. And if that's the case, then it's probably something that you're doing to yourself. And even though it's an external situation, in order to fix anything that's happening on the outside, you have to look within first. So I suggest to anyone who's kind of going through something like this to ask yourself, well, what kinds of thoughts are running through your mind on a regular basis? And how are you talking to yourself when you are getting ready to sit down to your project, or when you're in the middle of your project? What kinds of what's your self-talk looking like? And what's your narrative? What's the story that you're telling yourself? If you take some time to really examine that, your system, your belief system, you will find that it's either limiting or empowering based on the thoughts that are constantly running through your head and the way that you're talking to yourself. So if you're struggling to achieve your goals, if you find that, gosh, I can't finish my project, every time I set a goal to finish my project, this happens, or every time I, plan on growing my business or growing my audience, this happens. That's a result of a limiting belief system when we're struggling to achieve our goals consistently. And so what I would suggest for anyone who might be dealing with something like this is to first, obviously, take some time to figure out what is your narrative on a regular basis. Write it down in a journal so that you can keep track of the thoughts and the self-talk. And then you want to be able to shift from that negative narrative because it's holding you back, and shift into an empowering one. And that's really a matter of coming up with some really powerful affirmations that make you feel good about yourself. And once you can get into the practice of that and start feeling a little bit better and more empowered with your creative pursuits, then you will have a better chance of setting some goals that you will actually achieve. So it is a process. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight, but I want to also remind you that you did not develop a limiting belief system overnight either. This is something that often starts in childhood, and we just feed it along the way. Even though wonderful things happen to us, we tend to focus on the not so wonderful things. And we identify with those for whatever reason. I mean, there are a bunch of different reasons, but that's not what this video is going to be about. What's important to understand is that you can shift, okay? But you have to be dedicated. You have to make it a practice. It has to be a daily practice, and it has to be a practice that you continue throughout the day. It can't be just, part of your morning routine, and then off you go. You really need to incorporate your affirmations and your positive self-talk throughout your day. Once you start getting into that flow, and mind you, this isn't going to be something that is an all or nothing kind of deal. Even for those of us who have a very rigid practice of positive, affirmations and positive self-talk, we still hit some of those walls. Some of those old stories come back up, and we have to contend with them. So it's definitely a process for everyone, okay? And but it will get better, because the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Once you're feeling a little bit more steady with how you're talking to yourself and the kinds of thoughts that are running through your mind, then you could take the opportunity to set some goals for your creative journey. Now, this isn't to say that you can't set goals prior to this, I'm not saying don't bother setting goals while you're dealing with a negative belief system, because I don't think that that's really helpful at all. But you want to pay attention to the kinds of goals that you're setting. Even if you're dealing with a negative belief system, you want to make sure that you're setting goals that aren't going to feed into that negative belief system. You want to set goals that are actually going to feed into your empowering belief system, even if you're still working on building that empowering belief system. You can still set goals that will feel good to you, okay? So there are 3 ingredients, I guess, that make up a goal that will absolutely feed into an empowering belief system. It's a goal that you can believe that you'll achieve, and a goal that you really want to achieve, and a goal that you have the ability to achieve without self-sabotage. So the first one is, you want to make sure that the goal lights you up. This is all about passion. If you aren't feeling passionate about a goal that you've set, then why on earth would you do all that you have to do to make it happen? Because the minute you hit a wall, or the minute something doesn't go your way, that's enough to stop many people from following through on their goal, if it's not something that that they're passionate about. So you want to make sure that the goal lights you up, number 1. Number 2, the goal needs to require you to do something extraordinary, okay? You have to step outside of your comfort zone. If this goal is kind of a safe goal, that's fine, whatever. We all have a range of safe goals and goals that don't make us so comfortable. But those goals that are safe aren't going to help you grow, okay? So those goals are kind of like, whatever. They're there. They're, fantastic if you can achieve them, but they're not going to actually move you forward in your creative journey, okay? But a goal that requires you to do something extraordinary, and a goal that requires you to step outside of your comfort zone and do something that makes you a little nervous, is a powerful goal. And you can definitely work your way up to that kind of a goal. I'm not saying that you need to throw yourself out into the Wild West just to make this happen for yourself. Work your way up. That's totally fine. And oftentimes we have to work our way up using those really safe goals. But be really careful that you don't stay in that safe zone for too long, because nothing's happening in the safe zone, okay? You're surviving, but you're not thriving. So be sure that the goal that, is really important to you is going to require you to do something extraordinary. The third quality is, I want you to find a goal that is going to evolve into a bigger goal. It's the kind of goal that will lead you into a new goal, into a bigger goal, an expansive goal, something that's going to take you even further into your journey. We want to avoid dead end goals, which are actually safe goals. Okay. So if you find that you're doing a lot of safe goals, writing a certain number of words that you can achieve every single day, you don't feel good because I could, write 500 words a day and this is fantastic. But if it's not actually making you do more and challenging you, then where are you going? Nowhere. So your goals need to lead into a bigger goal. So try to avoid the safe dead end goals, and you will, for moving forward on your journey. Like I said, and I feel like I always have to kind of repeat this because people do get a little nervous. Like, well, some goals I just have to do because they're part of my business, and they're not goals that really light me up, but that I have to do them because otherwise certain things don't get done. I get that. So, but those aren't the kinds of goals I'm talking about. I'm talking more about goals that are going to lead you farther through your journey so that you can achieve your big dreams. All right. So those are the 3 qualities. So lights you up, requires you to do something extraordinary, and grows into a bigger goal. Let me know if you have any questions about this. I love to chat about goal setting. It's one of my favorite things, and I hope you have a writerly day. Take care.